Hi guys, well today's video is going to be all about this bracelet here. This is an old Seco bracelet that was gold plated. The gold plating's come off, it's more or less scrap to me. I'm going to basically use some of the abrasives that I showed you in the first video and try and show you the different types of finish you get with them. Okay, it's a stage thing, so the first thing we're going to be trying to do is get rid of the gold, and we're going to try and just buff these up a little bit, try and get some of the scratches out on those. We're going to use various attachments. I'm also going to try and take some still photos as well, so that if it doesn't come across very well on the camera, at least we can still see something at the end, so you've got a better idea of things. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a little flat wheel that I discussed the other day, which is this little fella here. Mainly because it's a bit more aggressive and it's going to help with the plating, because as much as the plating is probably only a few microns thick, it still takes a bit to get out. I've done it by hand up until recently, and it's a laborious task, especially when you're trying to get sort of into these areas here where, you know, the plating is. It can be a little bit tricky, so I'm hoping really this is going to work. I have tried it already on this one in true Blue Peter fashion for the UK listeners. Here's one I prepared earlier. All this has had done is using this one, nothing else. You know, it might look alright on the camera, I'm not sure, but it is pretty rough and ready right now. But it kind of gives you an example of what I'm going to try and aim to achieve. I'm going to break this video down into sections and try and show you the finishes, as I said. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've put on the flap disc on the end of the rotary tool. I've used my trademark rubber stopper to stop slips, and away we go. So the key thing I found with this, always keep it moving. If you keep it still, certainly on this sort of abrasive, you're going to get a flat spot. And we're just going to offer that up. And hopefully you can see that the plating is starting to come off. I'm going to turn it around, do that last bit there. I can still see a little bit of gold. Okay, so if I try and hold that up to you a little bit there, I don't know what you can see. It's certainly taken off the gold that you can see on those links there. It is pretty rough, but then we're not looking for anything, we're just trying to get rid of some scratches, potentially put a little bit of lines back in. I think, certainly from my angle, that's looking a lot better already. Far from finished, of course, but coming along. Okay, in this section I'm going to test out the wheels that I showed you in the first video, which are these little non-woven products, all the way from China. Again, I'm having better results with this brown one because it's stiffer than I am with these that are softer. The theory behind that is, of course, is brown is for roughing, and the maroon and other colours will be for getting finer and softer. But because they're very cheap, quality, they don't cut very well, with the exception to this brown one, which does seem to work quite well. So the idea now is to take the bit of bracelet that we did before, and you can see the first two links that I've done just using the little flat wheel. Now it hasn't removed everything. We can't expect perfection without spending a lot of time on it, to be honest with you. There are some very fine scratches that I can still see in here, which, yeah, if I'm persistent I can get out, but for this demonstration purposes we'll just persist. So I'm just going to take the next couple of links without using the flat wheel and just use this so you can see the difference, see you know, which one's best. So here we go. Oh, what I will say is that I'm not really using too much pressure. I'll kind of demonstrate what happens when you put more pressure on. These are a lot more forgiving because they've got the give in them. They're not going to dig in and try and do flat spots as easy as the flat wheel will. So the utopia really is to find this sort of product that's very good. It's got a lot of abrasive in it because it will do the best job, and that's what I'm seeking to find at the moment. So anyway, here we go. So I'll change pressure now on this link here, and I'll put a lot of pressure on. You can hear the motor trying, but it's like I say, it's a lot more forgiving. Now what it is really doing, or I can tell from where I am, now I'll just stop the motor for a second. As much as it's making it brighter, it's not actually cutting very well. And in there, which I'm trying to see if you can see, there's quite a few scratches still. So really all that is doing is buffing. It's not trying to do as good a job as the first product. So right now, for me to finish all of these, first of all I would need to use the flat wheel again to go over the whole lot. So if we skip this bit for now, I'll concentrate on these first two links. I'll go over it again with this now just to show you. Then we'll change it over to the maroon one and see what we get from that. Again, constant moving. I don't want to keep it on. You can just do this, you know, back and forth nice and slowly if you want. You know, you find your rhythm really. Okay. So as you can see, it just seems to have made them a little bit brighter rather than actually cutting, which is what ultimately you want to do. We'll just change over to the maroon one. And try this. Okay. Now, what I can see is really that's not done much at all. Certainly not in the way of stock removal. It's just going over the top of it again. lightly taking a bit off. Not much effect really, other than trying to help when you come to a finish. Because as I said in the first video, the key thing is all the work you put in reaps the rewards right at the end. So take your time, be persistent. Depends on how good you want it to be at the end of the day. If it's just a quick going over just to make it look alright, well, you can do that in a matter of minutes really, I would have thought. So I'll end this part here now. The next part you'll see I will have got all this prepped and ready, and we'll start on the Scotch-Brite. Okay, what you can see here is the finished article from the roughing part. I used the flat wheel along with the brown wheel and the maroon wheel to achieve the finish that you can see in the photograph. That's the end of this first video. The second section is going to be about using the hand pads, trying to achieve the finish that's required. And my intention is to make the centre parts of the bracelet a sort of bright finish, a mirror finish if you will. I'll take you through the steps of how to achieve that. Thank you for watching.